now. Ryan Pearson here with Jason Flory on Turn to Talk. What's going on, Jason?
Oh, man, it's been one of those days. It's been one of those weekends, actually. But
you come running in the door at 6:59 p.m.
Hey, you said 7. I was here, dude. And, listen, third week in a row we're doing the show. I'm excited. We got a great guest on today.
Yeah,
and,
there's been a lot of hype on this show. Lots of comments and a lot of just a lot of buzz.
Yeah, we'll chat with our guest, and then we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll leave the weekend stuff out of it for sure. But man, I had a good week. You have a good weekend?
Yeah, I had a great weekend, man. Yeah, except for you kept me up a little bit late last night, but other than that, Jason, hey, leveled up, hey.
Oh, look
nice,
at you,
nice,
nicer. Look, you got this. I'm telling you, you're getting there, man. You're getting there. This is nice. I mean, I don't think people understand the time it takes for you to put all this together to make it as quality as it is. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate that, man. Okay, let's roll.
Let's do it.
Okay, we got a intro video from Ashley for Ryan Markham.
Awesome.
Here we go.
She did a good job.
What's going on, Ryan Markham?
Oh, just looking forward to my little evening here with you guys tonight.
That's nice. That's the right answer we're looking for, man.
It's like you've been prepped. It's like you've been prepped for that.
Yeah. We have little cards for him to read, people, so the answers are all scripted here now. Bullshit.
Okay, we got Ryan Markham in our studio, right?
We do?
Yeah, look at him. He's right here. This is presented by Sinks Garage Race and Rod. So our driver spotlight every week is presented by Matt at Sinks Garage. So
thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Matt. So Ryan, this is our new show. This does have a little bit of the thrills on wheels. You know, I won't say undertones, but you know, kind of that kind of vibe of where we're going to bring on our local guys. And I know this isn't the first time I got to interview you, but it's always a pleasure. And you know, you were one of my favorite drivers when I was growing up, so I think this is really cool. I get to interview you again.
Yep.
I love this silence. Listen, so I want to ask a question real quick to Ryan Pearson. Like, I wasn't your favorite driver.
You were not my favorite driver, but you know what? You have one of my best memories.
Yeah.
Is when Brian Rollman, you doored Brian Rollman, and then Brian Rollman dumped you on the last lap, like in turn 4, and then he got the transfer spot.
Yeah.
And so, like that was a highlight of.
That's all right. So let's go on with the guests. We'll leave those stories to some other day, another time. But so Ryan, you've already been racing. I seen you at the Florence last week.
Yeah, with Attica, not getting her show in, and we went down there last year and made the show, and this particular one paid $1,000 to start. So I thought that I didn't realize the price of diesel fuel jumped up so much there. So it's a good thing it did, But yeah, we wanted to get out and get a night under our belt, so we run down there for a night.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I remember, Ryan, when there was a time where me, you, Spud, Kyle, we loaded up and raced down at Florence a long time ago. And
we went down to the Spring 50. That was a 2-day show back when we went to it, years ago. We'd go spend a night in the hotel, and there's this little bar there and played music, and we'd have a good old time during the night, then went back and raced the next day. So I remember those trips.
Skippy,
yeah.
Yeah, Skippy's tuned in. I guarantee you Skippy's tuned in.
So listen, let's talk racing. Florence was good, but we'll go back a couple pages on this deal. So let's go back 2 or 3 years. Rockets, Black Diamonds. I think you had a Longhorn at once, then you went back to the Black Diamond, and you got a Longhorn again. A lot of people don't know. A lot of fans don't know. I would say this fan-wise is like, Rocket's a Rocket, Longhorn's a Longhorn, Black Diamond, Masters Built, all those things. Like, which one fits you the best? Why do you keep switching? And tell people a little bit about the differences the way they drive, because you had a lot of success in a Rocket car back in the day. I mean, probably 99% of your success came in a Rocket car.
Yeah, I was in a Rocket for 20 plus years. And then when the XR1 came out, they got to the point where they jumped up in price to about $40,000. And at the time, they didn't want you to buy just a chassis. They wouldn't sell just a chassis. So you were committed to buying a roller. And I just couldn't commit to that. And so that's kind of when I went to run a Schwartz car there for 3 or 4 years. And that was good to me. And then, that particular car was, Audie's a hell of a good guy. But, like, his cars are not built for longevity, in my opinion. Like you get 2 seasons out of one, and they start laying down. So I had a car that was kind of laying down, and I drove the CO2 car there partway through 2021, I think it was. And then we're going into 22, and then that deal fell apart, and I really hadn't set up my inventory to do much. I thought I was going to be driving a different car on Saturdays at Wayne County, so that deal fell through. So then I ended up getting hold of that Black Diamond car, and then, hell, I won 6 out of 8 races at Wayne County the last part of the year. It was just, a Black Diamond is built just like a Rocket, the older Rockets, and I just fit right in with that car. And then in the meantime there, I had gotten a Longhorn, and those cars are built way different. They're all real stiff and rigid, and every adjustment you make, like, you have to do a lot of adjustments to get the car to handle. Where the Black Diamond and the older Rocket stuff was built out of chromoly, and they flexed a lot more. These new cars are built out of what they call dole call, and they're just so stiff and rigid that you really got to make adjustments. The car doesn't adjust itself. So, I got that new Longhorn there July of last year, and I won a couple races in it, but it's still not fitting my driving style the way I would like it to. So I don't know. Like I say, we'll keep working with it and see if we can find something to do it. But that's kind of the gist of them cars.
Okay.
Ryan, when you say the cars start laying down, is it kind of like it just gets flexed out? Like there's no more give in some of that stuff.
Yeah, well, they'll start cracking, and then you're welding them up, and you can almost be at the racetrack and you like, man, I just don't feel right. And then you start looking around in the frame and you'll see some cracks. And every car I've ever had, you weld on, throughout time. But yeah, so like you say, then I'll find a crack by the right front upper control arm, and then weld that up, and then you'd be back and car feel good for a couple nights, 3 nights, and then you might find another crack. So that's kind of what I mean by, they only, they bend back and forth all the time on the track. So sooner or later, they're just going to bend to where they just don't want to, the repeatability of it just starts not being the same.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive into your career here in a little bit, but we're on the subject of cars, and this is just your opinion as a racer. You've been doing it a very long time, and so I foresee the future. Like, I was talking to Masters Built this off season about doing some stuff, and really it's coming down to a 2-man race, right? You got Rocket and Longhorn. The cost is just over the top. I mean, on weekly racing, as the owner of the Speedway, I know what it costs to run and operate the racetrack. I know everybody wants to make more money. You guys as racers are spending a fortune. Is it good or bad, the technology that's getting into these cars? Like, we were talking before the show went on the air about, Lucas Oil being atomic today, and, the times and the gap between locals and professionals. But I mean, let's go back 20 years ago. You had way more manufacturers in the game, and the cars were $3,500, and it was, back then it was expensive, but it was still affordable. So back to the original, is it good or bad? And is having only two people really being players? I think that drives the cost up. But what's your thoughts?
Well, when NASCAR people started getting involved with dirt track late model, I mean, I could see it 10 years ago going in a bad direction because they have engineers. Right now, one of them guys from Lucas Oil Show, they was interviewing him, and he's it was Drake Troutman. He set fast time. He said, "Well, I got to thank Keith Berner. He's here with me today." He said, "I got to thank Vinny Giuliani. He's so he's a paid consultant, which is $3,000 just to get on his list to have consultant stuff. And obviously, he's hooked up with Garrett Albertson, Devin Moran, Troutman. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. So obviously, he knows what he's doing, and that to me is just it's just bad for the sport. I don't know. I mean, I talked to Steve Francis over at Sharon last year, and he said we done let the genie out of the bottle, and he said he don't know how he could ever get it back in to slow this stuff down. But to me, to answer your question, it's a bad deal to only have a couple people, winning races. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, before the show, we kind of were talking, and you said if you were starting off in racing, how would you do it now?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when I was a kid, I was putting every penny I had into it, and but I was buying a lot of used stuff, and yeah, I don't know how a guy could even, I don't own a wide bore motor, but it's getting quite evident. I go up to Attica every week, and there's 10 guys up there with wide bores, and it's just qualifying. It definitely shows up, and like I say, the horsepower they just keep finding, and in my opinion, if you go into this whole droop rule and shorten that droop chain up about another 3 inches, there goes all your traction. So it don't matter if you got 900 horsepower if you can't get the car elevated up and force it in the ground. But the big boys don't want to hear anything about slowing them down. They don't want to race with us. They just want to go and race amongst themselves.
Yeah, that's the problem. We're having a World of Outlaw show at Wayne County this year, obviously in May, and that's always a concern, is because you're right, they don't need us, nor do they want us, and it goes deeper than just you. Like the streaming service that comes with these sanctioned races don't kick back nothing to the racetrack. I don't think people understand that when it's on Dirt Vision and Flow, you're not getting nothing. The track gets nothing of that. So it's so more expensive to put these shows on, and you're right, they don't care if Ryan Markham's there. They're not interested in you. And that's a problem, because it used to be the series was relied on the locals to field. They bring 6 or 7, then the track supplied the rest of the talent. And I can remember some races at the county. I'm going back 20 years, and so don't go with me here. But I think Freddie Smith was there once, and you were battling 5th or 6th in a whether it was a stack or 2 race or whatever we had over there. And you used to be able to do these races and compete, and now I just don't think the gap's too big, and I think that's bad for the sport myself.
Well, like at Wayne County, Kyle and I and JR and Doug, we get around there pretty good. So, we have a legitimate shot of making the show, and but none of us are going to run in the top 5. I'll almost bet money on that. But
right.
But sometimes as you get older, you just have to lower your expectations. It's like, the races, and this is one thing I have a little issue with. Like I just heard where Lucas Oil upped the travel pay to their top 15 in points, give them an extra $100 because diesel fuel's up. Well, if they cared about racing, if you finish 3rd in the B main and they're taking 2, you get $100. If
right.
you finish 2nd, you get 1,000 or 1,200 to start. There's just way too big a gap there to entice people like me to come to these races, because there's a shot like, man, if I don't make it, I just spent $800 to come to this race and I'm going home with 100. You can't do that too many times, and so like I say, 20 years ago I ran 5th at Sharon on a Saturday night and come back the following Saturday night and ran 5th at Wayne County, and I had at the time a newer rocket car, right, new that year, and but we had like $200 shocks on the car. Now, like you say, shock package is $5,000-$6,000, and then the biggest thing is the horsepower and the technology. These guys, they just have their race cars in the racetrack. So, and to me, it's not good for racing. When the tracks have a little bit of bite, they're wide open, follow the leader, and you don't really get, now when the track gets slippery and slows down, then they're moving around a little bit. But, and that's all the animal that they've created by just the way the cars are stuck in the racetrack,
Yes.
Ryan, the last couple of weeks we've been doing the show, and Jason has kind of talked at various times about, going back and talking to some of these guys who own the racetrack and guys who've raced at the racetrack for a long time, and see, like, he's changed it, and Moomaw said last week, he changes it nearly every week. You've raced at Wayne County Speedway for a long time. How have you seen the track evolve, and do you think it's been for the better?
Well, I mean, he's always, trying to, add a little bit here, take a little out here, shorten the corner up. I mean, basically, the bottom line, he's trying to get the best racing he can put out there, and that's good for the sport. Yes, the track is kind of, and I don't know if it's, in the last couple of years, Jason's tried to slow it down and maybe not water it as much, but then the problem is, any little bit of moisture that's in there gets thrown up to the top, and then you have a handful of guys that's going to rail that top, and then it just, so there's no way to slow. You almost have to try to speed up the middle to bottom instead of slowing down the top, But yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've come through, 20 years ago, we started pill draw every week, and now there'd be times, you'd show up in Wayne County and there'd be 40 cars on a regular night. And hell, if you drew, 10th in the heat race to start, you'd have to run your ass off to try to get into the, hell, there's a lot of times I'd make it to 5th. I'm in the B main. So, win the B main, start 17th in the feature, drive to the front. So, I mean, I've passed a lot of cars over there in the years. So the track's always been, I mean, pretty racy for the last, the whole time I've ever raced there. It's always been, I mean, you'll have a night here and there where, it might be a little bit slipperier and everybody's hugging the bottom, but that's rare for Wayne County. I mean, it's generally a good racetrack,
Do you remember the days when it was like really flat and like race around the bottom?
Yeah. Well, even just a couple years ago, I won a race over there, and I had Lamborn come over and put a GoPro in my car, and hell, I was running the bottom in 3 and 4, and then I'd kind of run the middle of the top in 1 and 2. But yeah, I was running right around the bottom, that particular night, and I won. But yeah, I don't, like I say, just I think people have realized that, if you're using that wall to, I remember years ago when there was no guardrail in Wayne County in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Or 1 and 2, if you want to slow that top down, take that guardrail out of there, But then I know with liability of insurance and sprint cars and stuff, that's probably not feasible. But yeah,
we just got done repairing it, man. I'll tell you that, you bring up a good point. They're using the wall to turn. It's we've taken some off the top, not a whole lot, but we've added to the middle. We've tried to shorten the bottom of all the things we've been doing. I agree. 2-part question. Magic wand. 1, you had to wish and you can make any change to Wayne County Speedway that you possibly could make. What would it be? 2-part question. Second part, same magic wand. What would you change about dirt late model racing today?
Well, for 25 years, I raced over there simply with a pill draw. Yeah. And, we just held, you luck of the draw, you start 10th, whatever. The last couple years, you've had it to where you win the heat race, you start on the front row. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't think it puts on as good a show. So you want my aspect from a racer? Yeah, I'd like to start up front every night. But to put people in the stands, which is going to make you money, you got to get, I mean, the best car is always going to come to the top, Not saying that, if you have to start 10th or 12th, you might not win every night, but you're still going to get to the front. You're going to get to second or third. That's just how it's going to be. It depends if there's no cautions or whatnot. But, But like you say, I think people should, just mix it up, and people should not really know where you're going to start. That's one thing.
Suck
And
it up,
then,
right?
to change, like, race cars in general,
Yeah,
like you
just
say,
the
I've seen
whole
technology.
industry.
Yeah, I've seen, we went from being leaf spring cars to 4-bar cars to shock clamp bracket cars to 4-link shock behind cars, and that's where we're at now. And to me, and it's not just as simple as taking the shock from behind the tube and putting it in front, because I've seen some engineers say, well, if you do certain things, you can get just as much drive out of it with the shock in front, but you got to do a lot of different rod angles and stuff. But Denny Earl, him and I were hooked up 2007. And he said, he come to my garage one night, he goes, he said, I just seen something that's going to change racing forever. He said, Charlie Fisher just had a wide bore engine on his dyno, and it made about 900 horsepower. He said, that's going to change racing forever. And sure enough, there ain't a single guy out there, the big time guys, that don't have a wide bore. Now they're all building 460, 480 cubic inches. And,
I know.
and the thing is, like, Drake Troutman, they've blown up 3 motors this year. I mean, I don't care how deep your pockets are. There comes a point where, you're dropping 60 grand a pop. That's going to start hurting. It's going to start affecting these big guys, So I think it'd be nice if they could figure out a way to tame these engines down. That's kind of a gist of it,
There's the two of your true magic wins. So one at Wayne County is, you may get your wish at Wayne County. I'm going to ask you a real quick question for Pearson wants to jump in here, but the Wheel of Doom, we had it out there I don't know, was it last winter we put it out there as a promotional gig? It's a reality, possibly. Is it something you're a fan of, or you just want a straight up pill draw?
I don't care, man. I just want to race. I mean,
it's a little more of entertainment with the Wheel of Doom. You get a fan to spin it. You never know.
Where I had to start on the tail because that's the way it shook out. Well, then, hey, the racers are going to see. The fans are going to see a show.
Can we get that in writing? He won't be mad.
We'll say.
Like you say, we're all there to have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I hope so, because go ahead.
But like you say, I pill drawed race for 30 some years, and that's just how we did it every week. So to me, it's no big deal. Like you say, I think it probably, because you're going to get a guy that might be a 10th place car, say 8th place guy, he's going to start on a pole tonight. Well, he's going to run, and hell, he might hang on and finish 4th or 5th. And then, but if you start him 10th, he's going to finish 10th. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We all have to race. I've not seen anybody just get flat tore up because of pill draw racing.
Right.
That just doesn't happen. Per se happen, but like you say, the bottom line is the people sitting in the stands pay money to come, and they want to see people passing cars.
You're right. Entertainment.
That's my
value,
opinion.
buddy. No, it's right on. Go ahead, Ryan.
I just want to hit some of these comments, man. We're way behind on comments, and I know we're just going to fly through them. I'm not going to put them all up on the screen, so I just want to hit some of them real quick. Gary Schaup says he can't wait for Saturday night opening night for high flying action in dirt flying.
Yeah.
Denise Rogers says, "Hey, stranger." I think that one's to you, Ryan.
That was to you, Ryan.
Tony Allen says, "Hello, sir. This is Tony from T&M Circle Track Video. We're looking forward to being there this year to do videos."
Yeah.
Kevin Greer says, "Hey, guys."
Kevin's a good dude. He's been working with me with the timing and scoring stuff.
Sherry Meyer says, "That was a nice intro, Ashley Griffiths."
Yeah, Ashley does good work.
Robert Greer says, "Hello, you all, and good luck in 2026, Ryan."
Yeah.
Thanks.
Amy says, love watching Flyin, Ryan. Deanna Conway says, "Hey, Ryan, good luck this year." And then Robin Allen Luke says, "Good luck to all."
Okay. Well, everybody's tuned in. We knew Ryan would be a good hit on the show, and he's been doing it a long time and got a lot of fan base, and that's something we can touch on. So
everybody loves him.
it's just fun to you and I run up and down the road a while ago. I mean, it's been a long time ago, but Challenger, Pittsburgh, Raceway 7 was your home on Friday nights for a long time with Krager racing engines, and you know what I mean. So, what drives you? I mean, you're a competitive guy. I mean, that's the easy part. But like, Emma's growed up, and she's welding on your front bumper the other day, which I thought was really cool. You know, what drives Ryan now to get up and get out in the garage? Because I think you're probably one of the hardest working guys in the business. I mean, people don't know that, but they should just go to your shop because that's where you're living. You're not at home, you're in the garage. So what motivates you to work 60 hours a week at your job and then come home and put another 60 in the garage to go racing? Like, what keeps you going?
Well, like I say, that's getting older. That kind of some of the gas tanks running a little lower at times, but still, it's just I guess just I've always been focused with competition and just you just want to do good, and I wrestled and played football and always was competitive with whatever I did, and it's just what we do.
It's if you do it, it's what you do. But
yeah.
And Ryan's checking out some comments. But so what advice do you have? Ryan kind of led into this earlier, and I'm going to finish what he was saying. Like, what advice do you give somebody who wants to go dirt late model racing? Like, where do they start? Like, where how do you even go? How do you start today? What do you say? You get a compact and start at the bottom, or what do you tell somebody? Like, hey man, I want to do this.
Well, I know some people that were looking to get into a lower class, and I'm like, I have a race car for sale. I'm like, man, you'd be better off to buy my late model because the amount of money you're going to spend to go into the next class down, versus what you bring back in. I mean, the dollar for dollar, I think the late model was a better show because, I go down to Devin Moran's, buy tires for $50 a piece, instead of 240. Now I have to buy, some new ones, but for the most, I mean, I try to run off and use tires but yeah, you just need to get hooked up with somebody that's racing and kind of go in and kind of hang out with them a little bit to see how things go and get in that way. I don't know. Yeah, I almost think sometimes we have too many classes. You need like a 4-cylinder class, a beginner class, and then, I know this Crown Vic deal is kind of coming around. These guys can knock the windows out, put a roll cage, and go race a car, The pure stock class or super stock, I mean, there's a lot of dollars in that class as well. There's just, I don't know. Then they tried the whole crate late model stuff, which in the South, the crates are really good. But up around here, it just didn't fit in. What I'd like to see is that 525 motor start coming about, because that's a motor that you could run with the late models on a regular night. And if it slows down a little bit, I mean, you could be competitive, but you're not going to show up at Wayne County with a 604 and you're just not going to race,
No, that's true.
So to answer your question, you really need to get around somebody and hang out and go to the track with them a little bit and see what it's about. And then, have somebody that's been doing it a while kind of work with you.
You think your daughter's going to get behind the wheel of your car? Is she taking over your seat?
Well, she's not taking over my seat. But I just asked her that question at dinner tonight, and she goes, "You tell them," because somebody was saying, "Well, when is she going to get behind the wheel?" And she goes, "You tell them this year." So she's actually last 3 weeks has been coming to the race shop after she gets off work, and like the other day I had a doctor's appointment, and we come back from Florida. We didn't get the car outside till Thursday because it was so cold, and I didn't want to get the power washer out because it was still going to be cold, and I didn't want stuff freezing up. So, hell, she goes out there and washes it up, sponges it, washes the whole thing up while I'm gone. So she's putting in an effort to come and hang out, and so
yeah,
we'll see
it was
how
cool to
things
see her
go.
welding on that thing. I think that was one of the coolest things I've seen. Is because I think everybody on this, the three of us for sure, will sit here is we all remember when she was born.
Yes,
and so we all got the luxury of watching her grow up, and her welding on that car was like a real moment for me. I'm like, shit, I'm getting old.
Yeah, and I'll even double down. She's welding on your car, and then she's also setting up the camera and the audio for Ryan. So she's she's multi.
She's talented.
Yeah, which actually we got for Christmas. My crew got me a I don't know, like a GoPro camera type stuff. So Emma's supposed to be kind of behind the scenes on that and doing a little bit of videoing and stuff, trying to, keep some of the fans, kind of behind the scenes that still, so hopefully we can get some video stuff out there for people to kind of watch a little bit.
Yeah, everybody's interested. I'm telling you, so we're gonna do some of the same stuff with the Speedway, get behind the scenes, and Ryan's gonna follow me around and edit a bunch of shit. But
yeah, we're gonna have to edit you out of everything.
Go ahead.
Ryan, somebody posted this one earlier in the week. I'm gonna go through some of these. What's your memories of Lakeville Speedway? What's your greatest Lakeville Speedway memories?
Oh man, I had a lot of good memories down there. Like I won a 6,000 win race down there. I won several. What they had is triple crowns. They paid like 3, 4, 5,000 to win. I won several of those. That place was just really good to me. I just, but like I say, I'd run at Raceway 7 a lot, but then there toward the end of the time, I kind of started coming down to Lakeville a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, that was always I always loved that little track. So yeah, I've had some good memories there. Like I say, we won a lot of races. I won my first race at Lakeville back in 1994. And then in 2010, I won my 100th race at Lakeville Speedway. So I got a little plaque. They got me a plaque. It was one of the banquets I went to, and I got a little plaque hanging on the race shop wall that I won my first race there, my 100th race there. So.
You got a question?
Yeah, I got another one. Ryan, what role has your wife, Laura, played in your racing career over the years?
Well, she's always been behind the scenes, like, for years and years and years. We've had T-shirts. People don't understand the amount of work that it takes to get those, get them sorted, take them to the track, go up, deal with, get the stuff up there. And it's just a lot of work, So she's always done the T-shirts. She's always taken care of the household 100%. I mean, I got dinner every night when I come home. And then, a lot of the stuff too, I'm not very, I guess, sponsor oriented or whatnot. I mean, most of the sponsors that I have are like friends of mine, and but I've just never been good at going out and shaking the bushes and trying to, it just never worked out really good for me. But she's done some of the work behind the scenes with that and stuff. So yeah, it's a thankless job being a wife of a racer.
Yeah, no kidding.
Any more?
Yeah, I got a couple. I just want to hit this one for sure. Somebody asked if what Ricky Bobby said was true. If you ain't first, you're last. And do you feel that that's a correct statement?
No. I mean, everybody wants to win, but the bottom line is, when I run second, yeah, I might be the first loser, but I still get a pretty good paycheck. And that's what keeps me coming back every week. If I was going to drive like either I won or didn't finish, you can't survive racing that way, And there was a point in my career, a couple different times where, my equipment, I was kind of behind the 8 ball on different stuff and, had some engine problems and trying to get through. So, some of my driving style back in the, 2008 through 15, maybe something. I mean, I was not near as aggressive as I used to be just because, I needed to finish second or third to keep on going, So, people could sit there and say, well, if you ain't, if you ain't winning, you're a loser, then, I don't know. I mean, it takes all of us to race. So that's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Ryan took you down memory lane to Lakeville, and I'm going to give you a scenario that I've been thinking about. This is a real deal for me. I've been thinking about this a lot. You talk about the success at Lakeville, the Friday nights. I do believe the wheels on the bus go round and round, and we come back around to history all the time. What's your feelings on a drop in super late models? Not saying this year, obviously, but you drop super late models and you go with late model chassis, an oil shock, 8 or 10-inch tire. Let's go back to Lakeville. If it was so good, let's go back to Lakeville days and go back to that limited late class, if you want to call it. What do you think of that idea? What do you think of the affordability? And then, if you put a small tire on and you do all these things, take the traction away, the motors aren't a primary thing anymore. What do you think? Do you think it would work in today's world?
Well, I would like, see, back then, I never had a limited motor, but see what he would do. Like, we could go down there and he'd let us put the small tires on, and I don't know if we had to add weight or something, but that kind of, you still had to do the small tire deal, and
Yeah, same deal.
you're kind of putting yourself out on a pedestal, but on an island. But at the same token, people just can't keep affording. I love Brad Malkett, but and I know he's not even living an extraordinary life because of engine building. Because I know what he charges, and I know what these guys pay for parts.
Right.
And so, but it's gotten to the point where you can't even, between tires and engines, and I like the fact back in the day you'd put that one tire on, it was a 35 or whatever, you run the same tire all night long. Then you weren't wearing tires out. It's like this year you're going to a 3 right rear, which even if nights that you need a 2, I got no problem running a 3, because most nights over there, midsummer, you're junking a 2 just to get through the heat race to the feature. But
you do put yourself on an island. I put the track and the racers, but if you look at the people who come week in and week out, and they're loyal to the Speedway anyway, and like we talk about this, you, Drown, Gentry, Moore, and Bellman, you throw them all in there. We've lost guys because of the cost of racing, but if you're all supporting the track and we all just want to race every Saturday night, does it have to be a $60,000 engine and a $6,000 set of shocks, and does it have to be a $250 tire to be a good show? Because if you got the players, does it matter?
Right. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, I see your point, and that might be able to keep, and even like that modified class. I run a modified, but it's getting to the point where there's 4 or 5 Longhorn cars there coming in with these $40,000 Mullins engines, and that class is getting out of hand too. You know what I mean? So
it's out of hand. It's not getting out of hand. That class was, I told Cody Watson years ago, the Tri-State Modified deal, Ty was part of it. I go, you start treating these modifieds like they're superstars, they're just going to go and spend money because you're paying too much. That class should never pay more than $600 to win. Have a couple specials, but keep it where it belongs. Everybody wants to make $10,000 to win shows, and it's
they'll get $1,500 to win or something at the dirt track, and they got I see the dirt tracks already canceled. Like, you can't even get into that race with a modified. They've cut the entries off.
Yeah, it's definitely weird how it works. Like, Eldor can get away with paying $1,500 to win for a big special, and people go and they think it's great. But weekly guys like Wayne County Speedway, well, you don't pay enough for me to come. It's like, when did you ever make money racing? Like, I'm putting my ass on the line every week. I'm not living an extravagant lifestyle by no means. I like what you said earlier, but there's not enough of us guys left in the group that we're doing this for fun. Ryan's going to work tomorrow. I'm going to work tomorrow. Pearson's part-time retired, so he's going to go to work half the time. But it's reality check, right? We're doing this for the love of the sport, and when it starts to cost $100,000 to go, you've just eliminated 2/3 of the field.
Right. Yeah.
And I know guys that love racing, and you chucked on a little bit ago. They're just this, like the pill draw thing you hit. It hit a home run in my mind. Like, you're right. A guy who starts 10th is going to finish 10th. But if he gets the pill draw and he starts 3rd, he might drop back and get a 6th place finish, and that might drive him to be like, hell yeah, I'm coming back next week. Because everybody wants to feel good. That's part of the sport. So, you make some good points. I just think if you could keep the players. And Wayne County would put himself out for sure, but I think it's what the whole sport needs. I think we're all delusional to think that this is a bubble that's getting ready to pop. If we don't find a way to make it affordable, the fans can't pay $50 to come and watch a regular show, and that's what it's going to cost to keep things in check. You can't keep coming to the racetrack if it costs you $200,000. You're going to be out, and we won't have nothing to watch anyway.
Yeah. I've always been, one for, like, say, tire rules or whatnot, that you just put 4 tires on and go race all night. Like, we had a tire shortage one year, and Lucas Oil made us up at Raceway 7, like different ones. You had to put the 1425 on the right rear and 1300s, and you had to run the same tires all night long. And hell, that actually, I qualified pretty good Raceway 7, because it kind of took some of the speed out of the fast guys, because we're all on a harder right rear tire. And then hell, you just run the same tires all night and don't have to change tires. And some of that's not bad,
Right. What do you got?
Earlier, Wes Morrison said shock dyno and spring smasher and the big dollar signs.
I kind of blame Keith Burner a little bit. I like Keith. I consider Keith a friend, and I tease him because I go, "You did this. You come out with this shit that's supposed to make things." And it's a tool, right? It's no different than having a socket wrench, right, Ryan? I mean, but if you don't have them things today, it's like I'm seeing guys at Wayne County have a spring smasher in their trailer. I'm like, holy shit, like Ryan used to go up and down the road with that Pete Parker trailer. I thought that was the coolest trailer in the world, and nobody had enclosed trailers back then. Now look at everybody,
Ryan, Rob Greer asks, what do you look for in a track to do the setup?
Well, like usually at the beginning of the night, no matter where we go, whether it be Attica, Wayne County, the track's always going to be about the same to start with. So, you have your base setup that you roll out with, and then you just kind of keep an eye. A lot of it has to do with lap times. I mean, when the sprint cars are out there before us, I'm over here checking lap times. Where did they start? Where they run in the middle of the race? And I might not. The biggest adjustment we make is our right rear spring. Depending on how much load you're going to put in it. And there's times that, the reason there's no right rear tire on my car because I haven't put a shock on it yet because I haven't decided, So if you look at the sprint cars are running 18 seconds, like, well, they've slowed down they started at 17, blah, blah, blah. So, you try to have kind of a consistency deal. Like, say, if they're running 18 seconds, we know we need 350 pounds of load in that right rear. If they're running slower, then we need a little less. If we're running more, then we need, 325. So a lot of it, I try to keep track of lap times, and it kind of tells me how to set the race car up.
I remember for years of watching you go out and take a screwdriver and poke the racetrack.
Oh yeah. Like, it just, like you go in there and it depends on how far it goes down in there. So, if you go in there and sink that thing all the way down, but it's going to be soft all night long and it's just not going to get hard,
Billy Dawson says, Ryan was always a guy I looked forward to racing against someday because I grew up watching Ryan.
Yep. That just means you're getting old, Ryan.
Well, like I was telling Ryan earlier in the night, when I started, I was a kid, and then, I raced with Alexander, Gentry, Blaine Aber, and all them guys. They were the, king dogs at the time. And then, 10 years later, I was kind of starting to win a bunch of races. And, it seems like the life expectancy of a racer is usually about 10, 12, maybe 15 years. And I told him I'm like on my third lifetime now. There's just I can't believe I look back and we were on the way home from Florence, and Jeff, one crew guy of mine, we just started reminiscing about the old days. He's like, well, he said, remember that 61 car come to Wink, and we're beating our head. And it's like, oh, Swan, and then like we just started talking about all these different older guys that like through the years, and it's like, we spent a 4-hour ride home. It seemed like 10 minutes just gossiping about the old days of racing, But yeah, it's like it's hard to believe I'm like you say, still in it and still competitive,
Well, that's another concern of the Speedway. Who's going to fill the shoes of you, and Drown is kind of a part-time deal now as business is taking off, and racing's probably not a priority as much as it used to be. But memory lane time. So you finished last year. You swept the blowout, right? Didn't you take both nights of the blowout?
Yeah.
Okay, and then so winter time comes, and I know you didn't sleep and sit and just polish it because you thought you were good. Expectations for 2026, any changes that were made to that car, and what kind of goals you got?
Well, it's been a couple weeks on the scales trying to, just make sure that I had moving lead around and making sure that things were, people say they don't scale anymore, but that's not true. You got to make sure your stuff's right. But like I say, I'm still not 100% happy with that car. The thing is, it's like you got Jimmy Owens. He's gotten in a Longhorn 3 or 4 different times and just can't get the feel he wants out of it.
Right.
And maybe that's me. I've been driving rockets for so long and black diamonds that are a copy of a rocket that maybe I just not going to get that feel that I want in that car. I still got my black diamond car. It's won races. It's a good car. So yeah, like I say, we expectations for the year. I mean, like I say, just want to be, you got to win some races. You're talking about morale there a little bit ago. You got to win some racing here and there, or else your morale gets down and you start questioning yourself, But yeah, I mean, there's, like you're not running a full schedule this year per se. There's several nights that you're doing something else or not even racing this, that. And, I looked
Right.
through the schedule and it's like, hell, there's 20 Ironman races in the state of Ohio this year, you know? So, I may run some of those, I'm probably going to primarily be Attica, but, there a couple years ago, I was down on motor and I actually went to Hilltop and raced 3 nights in a row down there and got 2 seconds and a first because I didn't have enough motor to run up at Attica. And then I got my good motor back. So then we went back up to Attica, but, yeah, I don't know. I just want to have fun, travel around a little bit and primarily Wayne County on Saturday nights and a little bit here and there. And
Yeah.
like I say, some of this is going to depend on diesel fuel. I mean, we get
Shoot,
creeping around
man.
$5.56 a gallon. That trip to Florence, that was 45 gallons of fuel, so
Yeah.
just add that up,
I don't think it's going to get any easier in the short term. We were talking to a fuel guy, distributor around here. We was at an event last night, and he's talking. Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he said like 40 cents a day. It bounces up and down. Like it's very, very hostile market right now for fuel. We don't know where, but it'll affect everything. I just got a load for the Speedway, and it's my bottom line's affected too. But before I let Ryan ask you another question, I just want to follow up what you said. Why did you get the Longhorn? Is it monkey see, monkey do? Honestly, is it the success that people were having in the Longhorns drive you to there just to see what was there? Because I mean, I don't know. I agree with you. I think the car probably doesn't fit your driving style. I thought your Black Diamond, you had that thing rolling really good. I was surprised to see you make the change, but I understand why too. Like you always, if everybody else is winning in one, you kind of like what are they doing? What's over there?
Well, and that's, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and disagree with that. Like I say, there's a lot of guys out there that are just having a lot of success. And even, Kyle's really good at Wayne County, but even up at Attica, Devin Shields, he rolls a brand new one out from Ty. And I mean, he's just a whole different guy, And so, but I also, I mean, I have a lot of connections in racing. And I know that not all cars are created equal. I mean, I've had several rockets, that, and some of them just aren't, Big Frog Motorsports in Ocala. I mean, they're on their like third one this year, because they had a couple that just didn't seem like they were going. And so they went back to Longhorn and then get a different one, So, yeah. And like you say, my Black Diamond's sitting there. I mean, I just put an engine in it last week. Because I'm trying to get it ready to go. So, yeah. And that's like you say, I mean, maybe this thing just doesn't suit me, I mean, I have won some races in it and we've had some speed. It's almost like I just can't get it freed up enough to qualify. But come race time, I mean, I was looking the other day, I got like 3 Ironman Hard Charger awards in my, I don't even know, it's some MD3 or, but hell, the thing expired before I got to cash them in. But yeah, we're good in the features with them things, but I struggle a little bit early.
Ryan, Jeff Kepling asks, which is your favorite track and which is your least favorite track?
Ooh, no pressure.
This is a Wayne County show.
Well, I mean, like I say, I'm the all-time leading late model feature winner at Wayne County. So obviously, I mean, I wouldn't be continuously going there for 30 some years if it wasn't one of my favorite racetracks.
There you go.
As far as least favorite tracks, I mean, I don't know that I don't particularly hate any particular track. I mean, there's a couple that like you go to and they get ice skate and slippery. And, as I've gotten older, it's like, well, if the racing's not as good, why travel 3 or 4 hours to a track? But I don't really have any that's my least favorite,
Kevin Greer asks, states, weekly racing needs to return to being a hobby. where new racers can afford to come in and the purses that are reasonable, gate price supports it.
Yeah, I think late model racing, Ryan, and you touch on this. I think there's going to be a day, and I don't know if I'm going to lead this charge, but Lucas Oil and World of Outlaws are going to be the premier deal. They already are, and you're going to maybe get one of those once a year or once every other year. But your weekly stuff, this super late model class at Wayne County Speedway is hinging on 5 drivers right now. And we can name those 5 drivers, we know. And every time we lose one, there's nobody filling the void, right? So you got Billy Dawson's got a late model, and he's doing really well. He got that car off of
Wayne
Moffitt. And but that's my problem. Like when you retire or Gentry or, Moore, Malkett and Drown are teamed up to kind of keeping one car going instead of having 2, there's nobody coming. And so where do I stand when you guys are gone? Like I'm running a late model program at Wayne County based on 5 of you guys. That's just the facts.
Yeah. Well, like you say, I mean, if we were out there on skinny tires racing, nobody's going to know the difference, And like you say, if people have older engines, the racing's still going to be the same. You know what I mean? That's it's kind of like the crate racing. I mean, you go to certain racetrack. Well, hell, like at Florence last week, that guy that won the crate deal, slippery as that thing was in the feature, he probably he couldn't have made the show because the times but he could have raced with some of us in the feature. I mean, he was turning some good lap times, because the track got all slicked up and you didn't need no horsepower, and so yeah.
It's a touchy deal. I don't know where we're going to be in 5 years. I mean, you've been doing this a long time, and I'm sure you've had the conversation with people. You've been doing it for 30 years. So 15 years ago, you probably thought the end of the world was coming, but it just seems like the balance of the cost of equipment and the longevity. You said it, guys. Troutman blew up 3 engines. And it doesn't matter if it's I'm not throwing names out. It doesn't matter if it's a Clements, a Cornette, or a Vic Hill. They all go boom. You're squeezing so much power out of these things that, and even if you do make them live, you're putting valve springs in them every so many hours and you're rebuilding them for $12,000. It's not sustainable for a local show. And, in order for me to have a show, we need cars. And if you can't afford them. So I don't know where we go. I mean, you're just always a guy. We talk about this all the time. This isn't just for the show. You and I talk quite often during the year about the state of the sport and where we need to go.
Yeah, it's something that probably needs to be looked into because, like you say, I'm not down at Chillicothe tonight. Well, first off, I wanted to be on the show here, but I'm not down at Chillicothe tonight because, like, you just have to have, like I say, just. And I don't feel like I could be competitive,
Yeah.
So
listen,
why go?
You only want to go. Like, I know you don't get in a truck and pull out of the driveway and go, man, I'm going to run 10th tonight. That's my goal. That ain't Ryan. That's not. Reality it is you go to win every race, or why go? Because I think if you're putting the time in and the effort and the money, like nobody wants to. Yeah, you're going to run 5th or 6th and have those nights, but you don't leave there with the expectations of that's the best you can do.
Right. Exactly. Like I say, you got to. Have the back of your mind, we're capable of winning. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what Dick Palker, a few years ago, who was at Wayne County, is like, son, when are you going to hang the helmet up? I said, I don't know. He said, well, it's hard to hang the helmet up when you're still capable of winning. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good philosophy.
Larry Evans says, hey guys, love the talk and also good luck this year, Ryan. John Gardner has an interesting point, good point. He goes, I see more guys adjust themselves out with overpriced toys they have no idea what they're doing with. But like the famous DJ Miller once said, it ain't cheap being cool.
That's true. That is true. But I think that is that Gardner's comment, Ryan. You can just buy all the fancy shit you can buy on the internet, and everybody will sell you pixie dust by the bucket loads, right? Spring rods, this rod, that rod. But if you don't have the whole package or you know how to use it, it is completely a waste of money.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think about tire doping?
Well, I don't see where.
What do you mean? Let me ask you this. Let me be more clear with this. Do you think it happens more regularly than it perceives? Like even at Wayne County, I'm not just saying Wayne County though, but like it seems like it hit the high mark a couple of years ago. It's pretty. These guys were getting pretty bold with their kiddie pools next to their trailer, soaking their tires. When I see races now and I watch them on TV and stuff, I think everybody can afford. Like when you're watching a Lucas Oil or World of Outlaw show, like do you think these guys are doing that? Like you said, not everything's the same. Not every Longhorn car is built like for Ryan or for whoever. Like, do you think tires still get treated differently to different teams?
Man, I would like to think no. I know that there's some guys that have been busted per se, and
Yeah.
I mean, like Zach Dome, he won a race down in Kentucky 5 years ago or whatever, and come back that they said the tire didn't meet his benchmark.
Right.
Well, I know Zach pretty well, and I know his dad, and I just honestly don't think it happened. Last year, Devin Moran, Bobby Pearson, maybe it was 2 years ago, get hit, didn't meet the benchmark. Tires, I work in an industrial field, and I see all kinds of stuff being made. I was at Archway Cookies one time, and I watch how they do. They got this big old cart. They got 100 pounds of flour, 100 pounds of sugar, 100 pounds of this, 50 pounds of this, 20 pounds of this, and all goes in a big blender. Blah, 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 blah. Well, what if somebody only put 75 pounds instead of 100 pounds in, like at the tire factory? So maybe that tire comes back, it didn't match the benchmark.
Yeah.
I bought all kinds of tires off of Ty and Devin and run pretty damn good with them. So I don't know. Maybe there is a little something special with them tires. I don't know, but I didn't put
that's
anything
what I
in
was
them, I'll tell
leading
you
to.
that.
So that's what I'm leading to. That you just finished my statement. Is you're buying used tires. Lots of people buy used tires, and I understand why. But what if I pull a tire sample from you and it comes back and you bought a used tire? Like, do you ever put that in your mind? Like, holy shit! Like, I could win a 5,000 win race and I didn't know what I bought this tire. Like, I don't know what's in it.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the chance you take, like you say, some of the tires that I buy, they got cuts out. Like, exactly which one's been sampled because they cut like three little grooves out of them, and one goes to the testing factory. You keep one, and then the other guys keep one. So, there's a lot of tires that I run that I know they've been checked, because they've had samples taken out of them. But
I thought I had seen a picture online the other day of somebody had a picture of a rotisserie and some liquid substance you were soaking tires in. I'm not sure. Was that you? I'm just kidding, Ryan. Just kidding. No, I think it happens. I think it happens. You can buy the stuff so easy, and I don't get around to a lot of shops, but word of mouth travels, and I get told a lot of things, right? So not everybody's success can just be what it is. Some people got to make it up as they go. And I've heard so many rumors, I'm not even saying this for you, but you hear the same stuff I hear on the streets. Do you ever cross your mind if it's relevant or not? Do you believe the street talk? Do you believe in it, or do you think most guys are pretty honest?
I believe most guys are pretty honest. I know some go-kart racers. And like that's something that you got to do religiously if you're going to be a go-kart racer. And from what they tell me, if you walked into somebody's trailer, if they had an enclosed trailer, you would know instantaneously if they're soaking their tires because there's a smell that and that's like true. I say, I like to have faith in people, and I don't know. I like I say, I know Rick Eckert, he got popped. He won 2 races back to back, and they tested the tire one night. And he run the same 13.25 the following night and won the race again. And then they come back and strip both of them from him because they said it didn't meet the benchmark. And I don't know. Then you listen to that the head of dirt car racing, and he's over there saying, well, people say, well, Simple Green. He said we've soaked tires in Simple Green for a week, sent them in there, and they don't pass it. They don't fail a test. So. Yeah, I don't know. Like you say, it's just, plus, I don't know how people have time to be doing all that kind of shit too,
Yeah, no shit. That takes a lot. I don't think people, not that I know anything, but like it takes a lot of effort and time, and it's dangerous. I mean, some of the shit these guys are using to damn near kill you, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What I do know about tires is American Racers trying to get back in the tire game, and so we're kind of got a monopoly with Hoosier, right? And Hoosier's been good to the Speedway, hands down. Hoosier's been good to the sport, but here we go again. Is it good or bad having just one tire option?
Well,
Manufacturing.
Ever since Hoosier got bought by Continental Tire, the tires went up about $100, and that's enough to break the bank right there. I mean, it's $240 for a tire, back hell, I was paying $75 for tires, 20 some years ago, $75, and just boom, 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 and now, I mean, it's 3 times that money to race, but and that's, I keep trying to tell myself, I can't believe something costs this much. Well, go buy a brand new pickup truck. They're $65,000. 20 years ago they were $45,000. Same with a brand new race engine. They're same money. And so I guess sometimes you have to look at inflation and how things go, but you hate to accept the fact that prices just cost more, but there's, I look at ways to try to race and there's no way you're going to make more money. So you got to look at ways you can spend less money, say buying, I go down to Devon's and come home with 20 tires and, they were $50 a piece. Now, if I'd have bought, that'd have been $5,000 if they were new instead of, $1,800 or $2,000 or whatever it was,
Ryan, Emma says she has a comment. When Dad retires, I'll take his place.
There you go, Jay. She wants to fill in.
Yeah, listen, that would be a good. Oh man, that would hit. We'd pack the place, wouldn't it? That'd be awesome.
It would be pretty cool. Skippy says used to have to soak tires for Lakeville Speedway back in the day.
I remember it was going around. I'll just say that it was going around. Not like they have today, though. Like Ryan will vouch. Like back in the day, you could just buy it. And you just some stuff you put in the tire, and you just rolled it around. It soaked it in, and yeah, you mark it with a pencil somehow. No, I don't know. Listen, I just think when I think of tires, and we're talking about the cost of sport, with American Racer coming back in on the Pennsylvania side. Like, if I could get you an American Racer tire for $180 instead of a $250 Hoosier, what do you think, Ryan?
Well, I'd be for it. You know what I mean? But there is one thing. I just sent Sam Driggers a message today from UMP, like, hey, am I getting some UMP money? And he said, well, mine's going out Thursday. So, by me running Wayne County and Attica Hilltop,
Right.
I finished third in the state of Ohio, so that's $1,000. And then I finished 12th or something like that. Just last year, I think I finished 11th. So I'm going to get like $900 and some dollars from the national fund. So that's like $1,900. Well, that's a good chunk of money to have at this point. You know what I mean? So, but not everybody is going to be able to be able to get into that pot of money. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to run all year and be consistent, to get some of that money. So if you're just a guy that's going to run Wayne County every week, you're not going to get any UMP point fund money. But then again, like you say, if you're buying, tires at $70 a piece cheaper, I mean, I guess you could, I don't know. Like you say, it is what it is. I mean, I was always an American Racer guy back in the day and like that, so.
Yeah. Your perspective of the sport is not the same for like you actually look at the big picture and you always look at the guy who's winning and then you worry about the guy who isn't. And so a lot of your views match up with like my promoter aspect of it. I can't just run the racetrack on 2 guys that win races every week. I got to have 20 car fields and know that 19 of those guys are going to be pissed off at the end of the night. And so when I think about how to run it and where to take the sport, I can't just worry about the guy because the guy who's winning can afford to come back. It's the guy running 10th on back that you're going, man, we need him to make the show work.
Oh, yeah.
And you're seeing fields get smaller and smaller, and you're seeing the crowds get smaller and smaller, and people go, oh, if you don't have a 20-car field now, there's something wrong with that facility because they can't even fill the full field. Well, shit, man, there's hard to find 20 cars for every racetrack that runs every Saturday night.
Right. Well, that's what somebody was asking me about Attica. And I said, some nights it just depends because they draw from all over. Some nights there might be 16 cars there, and then another night there might be 28 cars there. I mean, it just depends. If some guys from Canada decide to come down that night, or they might not get to race Saturday, so they're going to come Friday because the weather looked bad. But so I mean, it's not uncommon to get under 20 cars at a lot of places.
Yeah, it's definitely. You talked about the old days of coming to Wayne County and being 40 cars. I remember those days, and now it just seems to be a stigma. Like, and it's more of a fan stigma, I think. Ryan is like, oh, they didn't have 20 cars, and it's like, but it only takes 2 to have a good race. I mean, that's my philosophy.
Oh yeah,
that and like some of your big shows. You've had big shows, and then be like, oh, you only had 25 cars.
Yeah. It seems like it's hard to please the fans sometimes, and then not all of them, but there's always those people that, I don't know, they always find the negative. There's always like, so what? We had 25 cars. Only, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter, right? But that's the stigma on the sport. But I like your views because you look at the big picture, and not everybody can look past their own deal, and you seem to always look at the whole picture.
Yeah,
I remember those Max races where I want to say there was one Max race at Wayne County when the Hesses owned it. There was like 80 or 90 late models.
I remember when they still have IOUs out for that race, I think. Statute of limitations is probably over on that one.
Check your wallet.
Yeah, that was that what they call that, Ryan? Remember that was 2-day show and nobody showed up?
Yeah,
and,
like they tried to match the Fall Fest from Challenger.
Yeah.
And I forget what the name of it was, but we run for like 4,000 or something on Friday and 12,000 on Saturday.
Yeah.
And Saturday and Sunday it was. Yeah. And
it was.
Yeah, the crowd just didn't. Yeah.
It was bad. It's probably because I missed the Max series, and I know Ryan ran it as well. But the Geesies did a really good job of that series, and that was what I would call a working man's series.
Right. Well, see, back in the day, I remember where they didn't qualify, and then I remember specifically Mike Balzano and a couple of guys said, "We're not running your series unless we qualify." Well, they were just, but their races were always good. I mean, that's just how it shook out. I mean. If you're a Mike Balzano or Steve Shaver, you're going to get in the show. You might have to, you might have to start back in the feature, but like you say, that's what puts on a good race when a guy has to start back a ways and runs his way to the front. That's what people, that's what makes it exciting.
I agree. I think a good race is described in multiple different ways, but you can't always stop the guy from the pole winning. That's not something that's controllable. But I do agree. The more professional teams will boycott a racetrack if they don't have a start heads up format, and it pressures the promoter. I'll be honest with you, I get a lot of calls. Hey, what kind of format do you do? We qualify in line straight up. Okay, we'll come. If you said you pill drawed, you might not get these guys to travel, and I think that's where the pressure comes. But we're going to race next week, and we will have a pill draw for the late models, so we won't do heads up no more.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Ryan, the other day, Jason asked me, he goes, hey, when we first started this 15 years ago, he goes, how long did you think that I would be running the racetrack? And so 15 years ago, when Jason took over Wayne County Speedway, how long did you think Jason would be running the racetrack?
Well, we started out on Friday nights, then we were competing against 2 other racetracks, and like I say, I mean and I come to Wayne County primarily because that been my hometown racetrack. But he's done a phenomenal job. I mean, like I say, probably nobody thought he would make it 15 years, but he's done a good job.
Ryan, go ahead and say what you really think. Ryan started laughing. Pearson's laughing because he's like, look, I didn't think he was making it 3 years.
I told him straight up, 2 to 3 years.
And so... No, listen, it's still passion, and I miss racing a little bit. Sometimes when I'm watching a good feature, I want to put myself in there as well because I still have that competitive juice. But I turn those competitive juices myself into how can I make the racetrack better? That's when I come up with these ideas and talk to different racers. Let's shorten the turns. Let's try to find a passing groove. Let's make an area so we can because that's what it's about, right? If the racetrack is good and Ryan Markham can start 10th and still drive up to the win. The word gets out that you can pass at Wayne County, and cars will come because everybody wants to be. Nobody can start up front all the time, so you want a track where you can race on. I think that's the.
Yeah.
I think And I think the county's gotten some top domination. I think I took it too far for a while. And now people just grew such big balls that they just lean on the wall, and it's really not riding a cushion, they're riding the wall. And so we're going to try to fix that a little bit. But I do appreciate, I don't tell you enough, but you whenever I took over, you have been there. I don't think you've missed a show, and you've been supportive the whole time. And that's I really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Ryan, who makes this all possible for you? I'll wrap this up.
B&B Drain Service out of Mansfield. I got Ocala Restaurant Supply. The Beer Barrel Drive-Thru. Chewy's Mexican Restaurant. Chewy's Tacos and Margaritas.
He's reading off a card.
No, those margaritas are good, though.
No, I'm not reading off no card, but trying to.
He's not.
I figure Emma had it written in front of him. Like, "Here,
Back
Dad."
in the Barn Boutique. Then I've had Joel Phillips. He's helped me out with some engines here for the last several years. I think that's about it.
What was it? Stu's Place. Was that who was that? Remember that?
So years ago, Mike Stewart, which was like the best man at my wedding, he was part of my pit crew. So his dad owned Stu's Place. It was a little car shop. He did muffler repair and so forth. So he was always kind of helped me out back in the day, and still even a few years ago, I get in a pickle. He kind of get me out of a pickle, So, but yeah, that was Mike Stewart's dad, that Donnie Stewart, that owned Stu's Place back in the day.
Skibby said he was a heck of a crew guy.
Oh yeah. He passed away 2010, heart attack. Just I think he was 43 years old or something, and just didn't come to work one day, and then he didn't come to work the following week, and then we knew something was wrong, so went and here he had passed away trying to, I think, get ready for work, so it's a sad day.
Yeah, definitely lost a bunch.
Ryan, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, we can. I mean, definitely. I think the one that the three of us can agree on, and we talk about the Thrills on Wheels format, is we talk about our buddy Chuck. Right? There's not a day goes by, especially when I put these headphones on. I do this show with Ryan. It's like I can almost feel Chuck looking down, going, all the names he would call us. I'll leave them out here in the show, but
well, see, I knew Chuck way before I started racing. When I was racing motocross, he was the manager down at Donnelly Ford, and Jeff Esbenshade. I wasn't old enough to drive yet, so Jeff would come and pick me up, and we'd go race motocross, and I'd go down there on my moped, and that's how I met Chuck. And then I started racing, and then he, I raced at Mansfield, and he was, so old Chuck and I, hell, we knew each other for a long time, and the hell he always tell a story how we went to 3 different racetracks in the same night trying to chase rain and everything. So, oh yeah, I miss old Chuck.
Yeah, there's not a day goes by at the racetrack that I just talking about him today. Like, what do you think about where we're at today? Because he was a good dude, and he loves racing, and he could do things that nobody else will ever be able to fill those shoes. And so we do miss him. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed you coming on. It was good. We probably talked technical stuff too long, but I do appreciate your views.
Yeah. Well, maybe another time we can try to get into something else. But yeah, hope everybody enjoyed the show.
Yeah, we'll come to your shop next time. We'll get a tour.
Yeah, come
Ryan,
on over.
Before we log off, Caroline, she logged in. She said she's a big Flyin Ryan fan right here.
Well, good.
Tell her to send a check.
Yeah, that's anymore. That's what. Yeah, buy a 5 gallon of fuel or something. Yeah.
Her dad has bought several Ryan Markham shirts.
Oh, now you're getting cheap on us.
Sweatshirts.
Yeah.
There's several. Her dad is
somehow, huh?
Yeah, her dad has contributed to the Ryan Markham race fund.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Oh boy.
Thanks for coming on, Ryan. It was a great show, man.
Yep,
All right. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yep, appreciate it. We'll see you next weekend.
All right.
Hey, now.
Are we we good?
Yeah, we're good.
That was a good show. He's a good interview. Lots of stories. We could go on and on. Maybe there's a 2-part deal to this thing because there's a lot of stuff I didn't get to talk about. But yeah, he's always interesting. His views of the sport, and like I always appreciate him. He isn't just talking about like what's best for him. He sees the big picture, and he could be a promoter someday. He has that vision, I think, to look at the business side of it. So, but man, it's been a crazy deal.
I didn't try to put him on the spot, with you, but I know that there's been rivalries, but it's just you're right. He's interesting. One, he's interesting, and number two, he will tell you. He has always been a person that'll really tell you like where he feels.
Yeah,
he's told me over the years. The track sucks. It's shit. Or hey,
where was you at? He didn't say that about my place. Where was you at?
Or he said, "Hey, Jason did something that was really good." So
Well, you're looking for feedback because, listen, not everything we touch turns to gold. We know that. And so, you have to get feedback from different racers. And a lot of them will tell you, and you just have to decipher what's best for the whole group, And you've been around me long enough to know that people come and always poking me about what they want. Oh, this would be better for me. And it's like, nah. But the racing would suffer. And the fan, I'm always looking at the fan side. Like I told you, a good racetrack, good racy racetrack, the tickets will sell, right? Word gets out. Good news travels, right? So, hey, man, it's really badass. Now, when I've had some bad racetracks, your Stairmaster track, that you like to call it, like bad news travels twice as fast as good news.
Dude, that track, it was like walking.
Shut up, Ryan.
It was like walking upstairs, walking up the banking. It was like walking upstairs. Sean Hubler says, "What's going on there, boys?"
Hey, Sean, I'll call you. Sean's been trying to get a hold of me, and he catches me in the worst times. And I'll get a hold of you, Sean. I will. I apologize. But I want to throw something out there before I forget and we get done here. Buddha was up at the Piston Power Show this weekend. He put in 3 hard days worth of work up there. Jam-packed crowd up there for the Piston Power Show. We had a booth.
The Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet. Ashley Griffiths and Jesse were up there today, and they went ahead and bailed me out and helped Buddha get tore down so I could make this on time. And so I
appreciate them.
Yeah, I do. And really just had a really good weekend. We went to a quota thing last night, a casino night. Quota's a good organization here locally that helps us at the Speedway. And I had a good time. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah, it was a good evening. We had to hang out, you and Steph and Lindsay and Chris. And I actually enjoyed myself and kind of put me behind for today. But long nights are short days, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, you only have so many of them left, so you just got to live it up.
Is that how it is?
It is.
Well, good. I'm glad you say that because Chris is out Friday. He's ready to go back to Cleveland. So let's roll.
I don't have any money for the casinos.
Yeah,
I'm out of my money.
So our practice got canceled yesterday, Ryan. It kind of got snowed out. It was 32 degrees in snow, and we probably could have got it in, but I didn't think it was going to be good for any new engine to run in the cold. So
what about tearing up, the parking lot?
Yeah, it would put us so far behind with the rain in the forecast for this week. Like I'm so grateful that we get Saturday in. We'd love to get we haven't had the season opener kick off in years. It's always been rained out, but hopefully we get the race next Saturday. We're over there working hard today, and tell you, just this place is eating my time up, but it's getting closer. Mike Swanger and Linda were out today.
Yeah, it's so funny that you just said Mike Swanger. He just sent a comment and said, "Good show."
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, him and Linda came out, tested the PA, talking over some strategies. I guess I'll call it strategies for the season, some different ideas. So I'm getting excited. Can't wait to hear cars on the track. I was really looking forward to smelling some racing fuel Saturday, but you know what I did instead? Clean the kitchen.
Yeah, that needs done too.
It needs done too. So next week's Easter. So what do we expect out of the old Turn 2 talk next Sunday? We doing this?
So we do have we do have a commitment. I don't know if our commitment knows it's Easter. I'm okay to do the show. It's not like we have.
No.
Where our plans are probably earlier and not later.
Mine are too, I bet. I don't think I have any at this time, so yeah, I'm flexible.
But tentatively, J.R. Gentry has committed to coming on to the show.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and so tentatively now, I don't know if J.R. knows it's Easter.
Right.
So we'll communicate.
Well, we can come over. What time's dinner? We'll just go have dinner. And,
yeah,
we can do that.
And then pull up the laptop and throw out a couple mics.
Yeah. All right, so we're doing the show next Sunday. Easter won't slow us down. We'll celebrate Easter, and then We'll do turn two talk.
And so last night we were coming home from Cleveland. I went. It was more this morning, and
I don't know what time it was.
and we talked about doing turn two talk with Chris and Lindsay, and the boss said, she was like, it's Easter, probably not, but here we are committing to it, so screw it.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I'm down for it. I think consistency, and if Steph will have us.
You don't remember that conversation?
Oh man, I tell you, it was. I was just so tired. I had a really good time though. Like I mean, I might have had too good a time. I'm a member of a new organization, so I got that taken care of last night, and we stopped at the Duck. I got to see some people there, and that was fun. It was all around it was a good evening, but yeah, I'm wore out. What you got?
Mike Stewart says hello from Bethany, Missouri.
Ooh.
And then Hubler says it's 83 and sunny in Salt Lake City.
Is that where Hubler's at?
Yeah.
Well, what the hell are you calling me for if you're in Salt Lake City? He must be trucking again. He did have a tree business, and so I'm not sure he must be trucking, but
I had a comment from you posted last week on the YouTube channel that said, Jason, are you going to crack down on drivers drinking and then going out and racing?
holy shit. Yeah, it's not. I mean, I didn't know that was happening, so definitely we have a tech guy, but that goes beyond tech. That's a common sense thing. Like, yeah, no drinking and driving on the highway or the racetrack. So yeah, we will crack down on that. I would hope that anybody would see that would come and tell me anyway, because and my second comment to that is I'd hope everybody's got enough goddamn common sense not to do that.
Yeah. And I replied to the comment. There was a situation, you remember, it's probably been maybe 5 or 7 years or so ago. And somebody told me that they saw somebody drinking.
Yeah.
And then I did the
did the old field sobriety test.
I did the field sobriety test, and the person failed the field sobriety test, and I threw them out.
Yep.
And they were upset with me, upset with you, wanted their money back and stuff, and we didn't let them race. No. But that was a situation that came to us. We handled it and threw them out. So if you have a situation or you see or witness, obviously let somebody know.
Yeah, I mean, like we can't see everything, and so if somebody sees something, that's almost like common sense stuff. Come and get us. I don't give a damn if they're mad or not. Like I'm not the one who drank and then tried to go race a car. So, man, I'll tell you, and I give this grief all the time, right, about our insurance. I was just talking to Jeff Ladd with SIS Insurance the other day, and like every racetrack has a responsibility to do it better if we want the rates to come down. Every time in any racetrack in the country, anytime there's something bad that happens, it affects the rates for everybody. So we all need to do better fencing, better guardrail, better everything, right?
Yeah, and you're right though. Like that is just common sense. Like, and then like we wouldn't turn a blind eye because of liability.
No, I would never. If we know it, it gets handled. We don't turn a blind eye. We don't turn a blind eye to anything. I think there's a perception out there that he's friends with Bill, so Bill gets away with shit. No, it's trust me. My friends get hammered the worst because I'd expect more out of people that I'm friends with, right? That's the truth. You want your friends to respect your boundaries and it's a rule. And so this new tech guy is going to be good. He has the gloves are off for him. I told him, listen, I have no friends. Everybody's a car number. And so I'm looking forward to a lot of changes over there. Kevin Greer, I know, commented earlier with Westhold. Like, he has been good with me, putting a new transponder loop in this week. We got new coax. The Bollins came in. So there's going to be a brand new scoring system in place. Should be flawless. And I'm really looking forward to some kind of serenity with the timing and scoring system. I know Rich Farmer in Ross were as happy as I was, I think, to hear that that's going in. So most racers don't know, but it's been a troubling thing for years. So hopefully it's fixed. And
Farmer and Computer Man said they were excited about that. Yeah. So that was good. DJ Miller commented, and I saw it, and I accidentally missed it, skipped it. But he was talking about Ryan, and Ryan is one of those guys that you have to beat if you're going to win. Mm-hmm. And I also bring up DJ Miller's comment because DJ commented last week that Ryan Pearson has a face for radio.
Not a boy, DJ. I would have to agree with him. No, you shaved, so sometimes you grow. Oh yes.
That's for DJ.
See, I don't get the keyboard, so I don't ever get that.
That is for DJ.
Yes,
the crowd loves DJ's DJ's music.
So, hey, yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on, Ryan. Racetrack's busy. Social media's going on. You've kind of got a plan laid out. You took the social media crew from our track and you've kind of got it laid out how it's going to be done. So I'm kind of excited to see how because this is week 1. It starts today.
Yeah, it starts today.
So I'm going to hold you feet to the fire to say.
Am I going to get fired if I don't? If we don't?
I'll just tell Steph.
Okay, thanks.
You'll be in trouble.
I'll be more in the doghouse than I already am.
Yeah, you're going to have to dust all the rooms, not just yours.
I'm going to have to sleep on the couch. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I have we won't go there. I'm not going to talk about your sleeping arrangements because we're not even going to go there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So no, I'm anxious to see how your lead on the social media and getting the stuff out and
like I was messaging Ashley this weekend and she is working really hard.
Oh yeah.
Alan the same, and so it's going to be a combined effort between all three of us. But every post wants to drive engagement. We want engagement, and if you've noticed my social media, I'm trying to drive engagement for the show. That's going to in turn try to drive engagement for Wayne County Speedway.
Yeah. I'm excited to the new ideas, and one thing we talked about is execution. One thing we've done over the years is, I think we have some of the best ideas. I do. I think we come up, you and I and the staff at Wayne County come up with great ideas, but we're all so busy, and so I think we've got enough people now. I think we all try to do too much, and so I think we've got enough people now, myself included. I know, is that it's going to be easier because there's going to be like the workload spread out.
Yeah.
And
hypothetically, that should work.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't, just fire them.
Well, you asked earlier about our theme music.
Mm-hmm.
I got our theme music for
Sanford and Son.
Turn 2 Talk.
What is it? I like it. The circus. Yeah. Hey, I like it. Listen, I know we're not everybody's cup of tea, but I think I have a lot of good people that say they tune in. Ryan was a good interview.
That was really good interview.
There's a lot of knowledge there, and
it was a really good interview, dude. I would love nothing more. You said it, Laura. I remember seeing Laura at the track, and always having her clipboard, and she was there every week. And then Laura gets pregnant, and they have a baby, like a baby girl. She's at the track. Like I just remember and then we watched her grow up, and then. She commented and said, "I'll hop behind the seat when Dad retires."
We've been doing it a long time, and then did. I mean, he's very humble, but he let's go. He's been around for a lot of stuff, and I'm sure he's going to be around for a lot more. So, hey, next week we kick it off, Ryan. Gates open at 3, hot laps are at 6, with racing at 7 at Wayne County Speedway. 61 years and still doing it, and 15 years for me and you, and I don't know. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
I wanted to ask you, so the last couple shows, say, hey, what's going on at the track? We talked a little bit about, we saw Ashley's YouTube and Facebook. Some of those videos that you had going on in turn 1 with the guardrail's all crushed and it's all laying on, all over the track. What do you have to get done this week? What is your, what's next? What's the checklist?
In order to race?
Yes.
So
what's your checklist?
The must to race this week for me is our water truck got a complete refurbish, and it's not quite done. So I got to get that taken care of. Hopefully I'll pick it up Tuesday or Wednesday. And thanks to Joe McElvain and Brian Winger for working on it. And
I love Brian. I haven't talked to Brian in a long, long time.
He's a trooper, man. He ain't loving working on it, but he's getting her done. And so that has to get done. You got to get the transponder system finished out. We got the loop in the ground. We just got the rest of the parts this weekend, so I'll finish that out. I'll get hold of Kevin, and we'll go together on that. Get the internet hooked up.
Did you order?
No, I will tomorrow. And so it's been busy.
Do you want me to order it?
No, I'll get her tomorrow. But so that's got to get done. Well, we can hotspot all phones, so we can do that. We got a health inspection on Tuesday. That has to get done, and then really just order everything in: the beer, the bread, the food, the soda. Believe it or not, I got to order soda tomorrow morning. It's got to be in by 8 in the morning. So here we go, right? And then obviously look at the forecast. I'm a realist.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. That was going to be my next question.
I'm a realist. I really want to race bad next weekend, and so I know what the forecast, it looks grim, but I'm going to order everything like I'm going for it.
So you don't have the luxury to kind of like a fan can say, hey, I'm going to wait and see if I'm going to go to Wayne County Speedway because it might rain.
Right.
So then I don't have to spend the money to get in. I can wait. You don't have that luxury. You have to order $10,000, $15,000 worth of food and beer,
soda, bread, everything, the Sam's Club trips for the little stuff. But
now you can still hold that for the next week.
yeah, like soda doesn't matter. The food goes in the freezer. The beer doesn't go bad. But like the bread's always a concern. Like when you order the bread, it has to be in by Tuesday. So that's your cutoff line. And you can freeze it. It goes right in the freezer when we get it anyway. And so you can get a week. But after that, it's still good. But I don't like it because when I want to sell cheeseburgers, I want the freshest products. So I've thrown away $600-700 worth of bread just because it doesn't meet my expectations. Like, we are not serving this shit, And so we want the best. We want people to have the best experience, and we're trying to give them that. And I really am. I mean, there's so many great ideas that we're not going to get done by opening day, but we've got a lot of new marketing partners that keep coming on board. We signed one here just the other day. And so getting these banners made and getting them installed and keeping things fresh, it'll be mid-May before I think we settle in with our season group together. But yeah, we were ready for practice though. I mean, I don't know, man. I keep kicking myself because I should have just practiced, but I just don't think it would have worked out. I second guess. You know how I am. When I rain out, I beat myself up because I don't want to rain out.
You don't want to make more work for you this week.
No, but I'm a fan too sometimes. Sometimes I'm a track owner, but I'm also a fan, and I was excited to see some cars. It's been a long winter, and we went to Florida, but we didn't go to the races no more because East Bay's gone. So I haven't had my fix yet, And so I watch online. Like I watched Nick Hoffman win Friday night. I thought that was a good race.
Yeah, I tried to watch a little bit of Atomic today before I was prepping, getting all our equipment. Got our new camera up, and
yeah, you do good. Listen, this is nice.
I hope the camera is better. You don't know. I was very frustrated. I was very not happy with the quality of our webcam, and so I had to spend some extra money. And
sorry, Steph.
And she goes, "Are we done spending money on this?"
You know what happens? This is what happens. You're not done. You can buy whatever you want, but you're not going to be semi-retired no more. I mean, there's always a.
I thought the common rule was then just to take all these invoices and receipts and then submit them to Wayne County Speedway.
Oh, sure, you can submit them
for payment.
Yeah. I'll send that to DPD at
gmail.com.
Yeah, 753 at gmail.com. Send that to that email and you'll get paid.
You're such an asshole.
Yeah, I do well. I do well at it. But no, listen, all jokes aside, man, you've done a wonderful job and you're taking on this role. I'm anxious to see because I can't do it. I mean, we've always done it together, but I felt like to go to the next level, I think this is good. And, we'll see. I mean, every week it gets better and better. JR on the show next week, I'm excited for that. And you never know. We'll get the fans involved sooner or later. When it's still cold, let's just be honest, it still doesn't feel racing season. It's it's cloudy, it's snowing. Oh, it's 70. Oh, wait a minute, it's cold again. So I think a lot of people are like, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? And so tuning into these shows, it probably hurts us a little bit today because Atomic's running. They might be done by now, but I try not to overlap on races because I didn't know they were racing today because its schedule changed on Friday. But
RTJ.
He won?
Yeah.
Well, good for him, man, because he ran second last night to Devin. Did you see the picture of Devin and Victor Lane with his new baby?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was pretty cool. So
did you see 3 of those guys trucked up from Sonoya?
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. For today?
Yeah. Tyler Erb,
really?
Chamberlain.
Wow.
Somebody else.
That's rolling down the road, man. That's
9 hours.
Yeah.
Putting her in the wind.
Yeah, you could drive. You could drove that. You wouldn't even fell asleep. You just put her in the wind.
We did that before.
Yep. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got home that time.
That is absolutely right. And then if it wasn't for me being there for Paul McVicker, his car was in flames.
Paul tuned in.
Paul is definitely tuned in, and he is in flames. And I pull Paul from the wreckage and save Paul's life. We have to have the daily Paul McVicker update hour. So
we do.
What's Paul's latest update?
He was ready to practice.
Yeah.
I went by, the snow was flying, the gate was down on the trailer. I know he was ready to go, and he's probably disappointed. Me too, because I was going to drive too. So it was going to be my debut, but The captain will have to wait another week, man. I bet he's antsy. I bet he went to Rittman this week, though. I bet he
probably did.
He's probably rolling pretty good right now.
Yeah,
so.
he's a slayer.
We talked to him last night, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I thought that happened. I really didn't know, but I thought that happened. Like my mind was somewhere else. But yeah, man, I'm sorry. That was whew.
Don't be sorry.
Oh, I'm not really that. I'm not doing it like sorry. I'm just like I drug you into that deal, and you got to see the dark side. Literally.
We got a couple more comments here. Chris Hinthorn says that was a great interview with Ryan. Glad to see that Jason stayed awake for it.
Yeah, there's my buddy Chris. Yes, I was awake. Chris and Lindsay were over this afternoon. I'd left something in their truck and they had to bring it to me, and they helped me clean the ice cream stand. And Lindsay's a trooper, man. She will do anything.
I love Lindsay
and Chris as well. Those two people have been a great addition to the staff over at Wayne County, and they're not only just staff; they're friends. The lovely Lindsay.
We got a comment from Nate Santmeyer. Says, Turn 2 talk is great. Thanks, Ryan and Jason, for a fantastic show.
Hey, look at Nate tuned in.
Yeah.
Man, Nate, it was fun hanging out with Nate last night. That was fun.
It was really good to see him.
Yeah.
You know, and I told him, man, and I'll tell you, I don't care. Just to see him grow up and to be a good young man, just impressed with that kid. He's growing up.
Yeah, I know. It's good that he's growing up, but it's bad because that means we're getting old. We're not growing up no more. We're just getting old.
Nah, dude, I still feel like I'm 18 in my mind.
I bet you couldn't do 2 push-ups right now.
my back hurts
Yeah.
right now, and my ass is killing
And
me.
I'm not even talking sit-ups with you because I know we're fucked there. We're just going to stick with the push-ups.
Alan Hutchinson says, "Good luck with that, Ryan." So
Good luck with what?
probably like the social media plans and keeping you in line or something. I don't.
Listen, it
who
takes
knows
it takes
if
a what do they say? It takes a village. Yeah, it takes a village. And
Yeah.
so it does. Listen, everybody who's part of the Wayne County Speedway does a great job, and I don't get to praise them enough. And I'm the first critic of everybody. I really am. But at the end of the day, I couldn't do it without everybody. But the same token, I want the best. I bring my A game. I want your A game because really that's the only way you're going to continue to grow, because the bar is raised every year. And the fans expect it. They don't realize that we're all working 40-hour or plus hours a week in our job. They just know what their expectations are to see a good race because they've seen something on Flow or Dirt Vision that was really good, and why can't we do that? And so that's the bar, man.
Well, I sent it out in the email, and I don't know if you read the email, Jason, that I sent to the social media crew.
I did.
But as we, get organized, I think would probably be the best way to say it is, we're all gears working. You know what I mean? And it all has to work together, to make the entertainment. And so you still need your front gate workers. You still need people smiling, signing people in.
Yeah.
We still need good track prep. We
Pick on me.
But it all works together. We need good tower workers.
Yep.
We need excitement, and we need promotions. I mean, so it all works together. And if you don't have one, or you have an area that's failing, it reflects then on you,
right,
personally, and then it's a bad product that gets put out on the racetrack, and then people don't want to come to Wayne County Speedway and spend their money. So we do need to get organized. And
yeah, I think that's the best word, is like over the years we've always got it done. We've always like pushed through, we get it done. But to actually be sitting there chilling, going, we got this, we're ahead of the game, we're doing great. Like, I think that's going to be a year or two of this new thing that we're doing with organizing and getting the right people. The people that we have today won't be here next year. Not all of them. That's a fact. I can already tell you. No, I mean, because people, not you, but lives change, things happen in people's lives. So the best thing we can do is always have the second string coming up through, teaching people. Like, we fell into an instance with scoring. Darren's gone, and we don't have nobody backing that system up. So, we're going to put Colleen in place, and we've had to send her to training and things like that. But I think everybody should have a backup to fill in so that it isn't chaotic when somebody doesn't show up or whatever. Not everybody works well with me. That's just the facts of over there. And sometimes people just don't gel. Doesn't mean that we don't like each other. It's just like, they're not my cup of tea. So,
it's true. I'm telling you, I didn't like you.
Anyway, so but I want to thank everybody, really I do, and the fans. Listen, I had some fans stop over this week picking their seats, these season ticket holders picking their seats and things like that. I'm always in for a good, what do you want to see? What do you like to see at Wayne County? I don't care. Just tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you don't like about it. Like, that's even more important.
Right.
It doesn't have to be just on this show either. The Facebook page is open 24/7, 365. Send a comment.
That's right.
It gets read. I may disagree with you, but at least I want to know what you're thinking.
Hey, Jeff Wright says it was a great show. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, Jeff, no worries. Jeff was the big winner of the Henthorn Sales and Service golf cart raffle last year.
Peg says Lindsay is a great-hearted person. She's lucky.
She's lucky to know me. You're right, Peg.
And then Mike said, during your interview with Ryan, you hit on a great idea. Turn to talk on the road with shop interviews.
Yeah, listen, that's definitely going to happen. We were going to do it in the winter.
Yeah.
Because after the banquet, we were going to go to Trey Jacobs, and we had it all lined up. And then now we're racing, so people probably are like, get out of my way, I'm racing. But I do think this show has the capabilities of going on the road.
Probably, but I think like as we go through the season, it'll be more like this. And then when we get maybe into off season, do some off season.
I'm gonna buy a bus. It's gonna be like college game day. It's gonna be like WCS turn to talk on the road. We'll get us an old school bus.
Well, I was thinking getting like a trailer and then have us a studio in the trailer, and then
It can be like mobile.
Yeah. Like a mobile studio.
We get like a fake antenna. It looks like we're like broadcasting to the world, and
then we can put a backdrop of turn 2.
yeah.
And then
Look at you!
Look at you.
Hit the old don't hit that button. You need to have that stuff quicker. Like, give me a drum. Hey, Steph, can I just get a drum for next week? That's all I want. Just some bongos. I can almost do it right here. All right, Ryan. We've been on the air for almost 2 hours. So you all caught up?
Yeah, we're all caught up. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Turn to Talk. You can find this broadcast on Facebook, on the Wayne County Speedway's Facebook page, also on YouTube, and the YouTube is Wayne CO Speedway. And then you can also download it anywhere where you get podcasts. Dude, our downloads are going up and up on podcasts. Like I'm kind of surprised that there's a lot. There's a I don't want to say a following, but we get a lot of activity.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we go off the air, I want to tell people this, is if you are interested in working at the Speedway in the kitchen area, we're always looking to fill that schedule. So definitely throw us a message. Even if you don't want to work every week, we always looking for alternates. We did fill the fire position, and so that's cool. Mr. John Bischoff will be our fire guy, and he's also the neighbor of a track, so he doesn't have to go far. He'll save on fuel when he comes over. And I went to school with him, so it's kind of ironic we kind of full circle. But another thing I was doing is I think the Trophy Girls were a huge success during the blowout. Badass. And I was talking with Chris and Lindsay.
Badass.
What? Oh, my God.
You said the Trophy Girls.
And I know. I was like, there's a voice in my head. Like, I didn't see you hitting that. That was weird. Anyway, I thought they were a success, so I talked to Chris and Lindsay today. We were talking a little bit, and I would like to do that on a weekly basis and maybe find some girls that would want to do that. Not every week the same girl, maybe have enough that we can roll through a schedule. I think it adds to the show. I think it adds to the motorsports history. I know there's people out here right now who are going, oh, you're an idiot, whatever, but I like it. I think I want to keep the tradition of motorsports. Thank you. And so as I say this, if you're interested in being a trophy girl in 2026, message a page. And like the outfit might just be a checkered flag blouse or something. It doesn't have to be like, oh, my God, that's so skimpy for whatever, because we have family-oriented races. But we are definitely thinking about doing that. So if you or know somebody who would be interested, send us a drop at the Facebook, and you never know.
Yeah. Travis Minching, he's used to race.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Travis?
Yeah.
He said he would love to see the early 2000s pure stock class rules back in action, back when we had 25 cars every week.
Yeah, listen, Travis had a lot of success. I wouldn't say he's my neighbor now, but he just lives down the street from me, and he had a drag car. I'm not sure if he's getting back in round racing, but yeah, Travis, he raced Lakeville. He won some races at Lakeville for sure. Good to hear from you, Travis.
Yeah, glad that you're listening.
Yeah. So, all right, I got my stuff out. There again, I can't thank everybody enough. Thanks for tuning in, Ryan. You do a great job with the show. I mean, I give credit where it's due, and it's been good. 3 weeks in a row. I've been here. You can't bitch about me.
Man, I was nervous, dude. I was nervous. Just because, that show is just, that interview with Ryan is not going to be as good, with a lot of your technical expertise. So
whatever.
I'm glad
it's easy for you to make this show, seeing that you just have to sit down. I mean, you literally just have to sit down.
I'm glad that I'm glad that you could make it.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's always good to see you, Steph. All right. I'm good.
Hey, and now, thanks for tuning in.